When Alex Hormozi talks about business, everyone listens. But what's interesting is that it's rare to see him discuss e-commerce because his expertise typically lies in service-based businesses and high-ticket coaching. I spent 10 years in finance working in venture capital and private equity before diving into entrepreneurship and e-commerce. Since then, I've built and scaled 3 companies to multi-million-dollar valuations. Most recently, I acquired a scented candles brand and took it from $30,000 in revenue per month to over $300,000 a month without spending a dollar on Facebook ads or Google ads. So when I watched Hormozi's take on e-commerce, I noticed something fascinating in his analysis. Some of it is spot on, and some of it misses critical nuances about profitable e-commerce growth. As someone who has gone from investing in companies to building them and now acquiring them, I want to break it down to you what Hormozi's advice is and show how you can actually do better in 2025 based on real data from brands we own. So let's check it out together.
Quick recap on this. Dream outcome is people actually have to want the thing that you're delivering to them, number one. Number two is that when they will buy based on the perceived likelihood that they're actually going to get that thing. So it's like a lot of people may want to get rich, but they will buy the one that they think that has the highest likelihood of actually them getting there, right? Or a lot of people might want to look skinny, but they'll work with the physician that has worked with 10,000 patients rather than their first patient because their perceived likelihood of actually getting skinny or getting the surgery they want is higher. And they in a very real way value it more. Time delay is how quickly something can happen, right? Is between when I buy and when I get, if we can compress that time horizon or that timeline, the more valuable it is. If I can get you a 6-pack in 30 days versus 6-pack in 30 months, which one do you value more? Of course, the 30 days one. So we try and compress the time horizon along how we deliver our products and services. And then finally, effort and sacrifice are the things that we have to start doing that we don't want to do, or we have to give up doing that we do want to do as a result of the purchase. And so in a perfect world, we want to deliver someone the dream outcome. And when they buy it because they have extremely high likelihood or they're certain that they're going to achieve that, and they're going to achieve it overnight with ease, right? So fast, easy, and exactly what they want.
There is a lot in this video clip, so let me break it out for you piece by piece. Now, Hormozi's $100 million offers value equation equals dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Now let's go into each one step by step and start with the top part, dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement. Dream outcome, probably easier to think about it as feeling or utility from the product you're debating to buy. With services, say you're looking to hire a fitness coach, the dream outcome would be looking to be more ripped in, say, 3 months. Now in e-commerce, i.e. with a product, it can be similar. Say you're looking to buy a protein powder. The dream outcome is that it will supplement your diet when you train more and you ideally build more muscles and therefore you get more ripped because of all of that. Now, the question is, and this is something Hormozi is not really discussing, is how to actually increase the dream outcome. The way you increase the dream outcome is by, for example, putting a lot of effort into the actual pictures and the visual assets around the product itself. And also, of course, the copy is super important. So, describing what does the actual product do for you, the description, the title, infographics, and what is the promise you're basically giving. The way you increase the dream outcome is putting a lot of effort into the actual pictures and the visual assets of the product itself on the website or wherever you actually marketing it, be it Amazon, Instagram, or TikTok Shop. Now, apart from the visual assets, the copy is really important too when it comes to the dream outcome. So the text around the product, the description, the titles, the infographics, basically what is the promise and how are you describing it, both pictures and text. Now, let's move on to the next factor in that top part of the equation, which is perceived likelihood of achievement. It can be as simple as increasing reviews, adding video testimonials, unboxing the product in your ads, and of course, influencer videos. These 2 factors, dream outcome and perceived likelihood of achievement, you want to increase both of them or one of them, ideally obviously both of them. Now, time delay and effort and sacrifice, the ones in the bottom part of the equation, these ones you want to actually decrease. The smaller they are, the bigger the value equation in total, because obviously a big part divided by small part equals a bigger part. Now let's also go step by step. Time delay is the proxy associated with the product arrival. Is it the same day arrival or the next day arrival, or do I need to wait a week or more? That makes a huge difference to the customer. A lot of the time, people buy a product on Amazon because they trust Amazon to deliver it super fast, and equally, if there's something wrong with the product, they can return it really, really fast. Now, the next factor is effort and sacrifice, and one could argue that it could be part of the time delay factor, but let's not be too academic here. So one of the factors is, for example, the checkout process on your website, and that's part of effort and sacrifice. So is there a checkout option as a guest rather than registering as a customer where you have to fill in a lot of different fields, or can you do it really quickly? Equally, payment processing is also underrated and makes a huge difference actually when it comes to effort in buying a product. You don't want to, have your payment fail and do it all over again. So it's really important that this is like a really smooth process, and that's how you really decrease the effort and sacrifice. Finally, if you have a really high average order value product, AOV, so an expensive product, consider offering payment plans. That will also make the effort and sacrifice factor go down, increasing the overall value equation. So I mentioned reviews above as part of the perceived likelihood of achievement, but let's also hear what Alex Hormozi has to say on that point.
So what are the ways that we can increase the perceived likelihood of achievement of me achieving this cool look? All right, well, first off is reviews. If I have lots of 5-star reviews on my page and I can read them, then I'm more likely to make the purchase because I see other people made the purchase and are happy about it, right? Makes sense. That's why reviews, Amazon pioneered this and then it became commonplace because it increased the perceived likelihood of achievement, right? What else can we do? And I actually saw this, Levi's did this for selling a jean jacket, which is why I'm giving the example because it was so masterful on how they did it. What they did is that I saw this video. It was maybe 90 seconds, and it had the jean jacket, and it had 3 different ways you can wear it. And they showed, here's how you pair it with dark stuff, here's how you pair it with light stuff, here's how you pair it with the same looking jean, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, I did not know how jean jackets work, but now I do, and now I know how to wear it. So my perceived likelihood of achieving the dream outcome of looking cool has just gone up simply by them making a video that demonstrated it, right? These variables apply to services and e-commerce just the same.
So agree 100% here that reviews are super important, and they are a proxy of perceived likelihood of achievement of that utility, which is the dream outcome. What I would add though is how to actually get reviews, right? In Amazon, make sure you launch several variations of your product to take advantage of the wine program. That way you can get a bunch of reviews when you launch the product. You can launch literally with 100 plus reviews instead of 0. If you have a solid email list, you can optimize for reviews too. You can be smart on how to phrase to leave a review to really maximize your positive reviews and not get as many negative reviews if people do not like your product for whatever reason. And there are of course several services such as Trustpilot, Reviews.io, and a bunch of other expensive sometimes subscriptions, but you can also just import reviews from your Amazon page if you're big on Amazon, and that will really do the trick. Make sure reviews include pictures too, and ideally even some testimonials with a video. Now in the next section, Alex Hormozi goes through a bunch of other bits in his book 100 Million Offers, and he applies them to e-commerce. So let's look into these sections too now.
Let's look at Amazon, for example. What do they have under virtually every single item? How many they have left in stock is their way of showing scarcity. Only 2 left, only 6 left, only 17 left. And then they have it by size, right? So that they can show scarcity at every single level. What does that do? It drives conversions. People want to buy, all right? Are you guys tracking with me? Does this feel like it applies to e-commerce? Let's keep going. Urgency. What else does Amazon do? They have lightning deals, right? When you do a limited drop, a limited edition drop of a t-shirt, there's only 100 printed and we drop them on Friday, and first come, first serve. What does that do? It gives scarcity. And because we're giving there's a time component, it adds urgency. Now, to really add urgency, we'd say we're only selling these for an hour, but hopefully the point drives home.
So my take on that, Alex is nailing these 2 points here. I would probably add that you should think of scarcity and urgency, not just on marketplaces such as Amazon and in terms of drops on your website, but also how to drive email campaigns by announcing drops, being smart about seasonality and first come, first serve basis type offers. Now let's look at the next idea Alex discusses.
Guarantees. So what do we do here? Well, Amazon took this one step further. Not only did they already have a money back guarantee, right? Because it's satisfaction, you don't have to do anything, you just send it back. And they made it easy to return stuff. What they did now is try before you buy, right? So they have 7-day layaway. So you can buy the thing and they charge you 7 days later. You can literally try the thing on and not even have to get billed on the card, right? Why'd they do that? It's a version of a guarantee. Why? Because what we're doing is we're decreasing the risk of someone purchasing, right? That's what we're doing here. We're decreasing the likelihood that they have a poor experience, which as an inverse increases the likelihood that they do have a positive experience if they choose to purchase. So it's like, if I'm trying it on before I buy it, then I'll be very darn sure that if I like it, my perceived likelihood of achieving the outcome after I'm wearing it is very, very high. That's why they did it, right? This is an implied guarantee. It's a version of a guarantee. So they technically have two guarantees. They have one, which is the money back guarantee, which has now become almost table stakes for physical products. But on top of that, they added in a try before you buy.
So in my experience, try before you buy is only available to Prime members and only in the clothing and accessory space. It's interesting how Alex keeps using Amazon for most of the examples. The reality is that Amazon is a massive platform, a massive organization, and with the exception of the period during COVID, they run their e-commerce business mostly at a loss. And that means they do a lot of things other marketplaces and brands cannot afford doing. So they do it because they can, which means if you were to do it as a brand, you would run out of money pretty fast. Now, how to solve for guarantees then? Well, money back guarantees is one, but it really attracts a lot of fraud. And that's one where I would just say it's easier to have guarantees as a high ticket agency than if you want to be a profitable brand. So probably just accept it, and it's a really hard one to implement. Look, Hormozi is brilliant at what he does. But e-commerce in 2025 requires a different approach than service businesses. There is way more fraud going on in e-commerce. The average order value in e-commerce is usually way smaller than in service-based businesses or high-ticket coaching. So while several of the points work really well, several of the points should really be taken with a grain of salt. In e-commerce, the value equation also differs depending on what distribution platform you're talking about. The weighting of each factors can vary dramatically, so it shouldn't be treated all equally. So when you think about selling a product on Amazon or fulfilled by TikTok, by the TikTok shop, the time delay factor will be way smaller just by you going through this distribution channel than if you would try to fulfill these logistics yourself. Equally, you might have more room to increase the dream outcome factor. If you market the product via Instagram or your own website, you have way more control over messaging and visuals than, for example, on Amazon. You can also do more upsells in the checkout funnel, further increasing your average order value and ultimately also your lifetime customer value. Now, in the last decade, I've built multiple 7-figure brands, scaled 50+ e-commerce businesses, generate consistent profits without relying on paid ads. The key isn't trying to grow at all costs. It's about building sustainable, profitable businesses that compound over time. If you're interested in learning more about how to acquire and scale e-commerce brands profitably, check out my newsletter in the description below, where on a weekly basis, I'll share my insights on just exactly how we were able to acquire a brand for 2 times profit and scale it exponentially past the 7 figures mark. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.